everybody, how you doing? This is Alex Calise and I am reporting live from Summer NAMM, and I am here with the awesome Tim Rockmore. How you doing, Tim?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing great.
Fantastic. Well, in case you were wondering if Tim Rockmore rocks, well, yes he does, because it's in the name, correct?
That's right. It's my middle name, for real.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that. You were telling me a little bit of a cool story earlier.
Yeah, I'm related to Clara Rockmore, the theremin player. So she passed away, and I never got to meet her, but she's in the documentary and dated Victor Theremin, the theremin player, and played classical theremin. So that's so my dad, I was named after her, and he was like, "That's going to be your stage name." So it's my middle name.
So they literally made beautiful music together, right?
yeah, it's in the blood.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it, love it. Well, you have a really, really interesting story, or backstory, I should say. You've been mostly, a side guide or a session musician, but this is your first solo effort. So tell us a little bit about your background, who you've played with before.
Sure. I've been in a bunch of bands, but one of the more popular bands I was in was ChemLab back in the 90s. And ChemLab toured with Nine Inch Nails, White Zombie, KMFDM, Sister Machine Gun. I joined the band to replace Gino Leonardo, who went on to play in Filter and actually wrote a song with Filter. Anyway, in ChemLab, I toured with Guar, Seven Dust, Mushroomhead, and pretty awesome dates, and became pretty good friends with Dave Brocky from Guar, and then later I filled in bands and opened up for the Kings of Leon, and then recently George Lynch from Lynch Mob, and now I'm doing session stuff, mostly television music libraries.
Okay.
In New York.
That's good for you. That's very, very forward thinking, because it's one of the very few money-making avenues left for musicians.
Yeah, so far trying. So far, so good.
Yeah, that's great.
And
have you had a lot of luck with placements?
Yeah, well, I've played on things. I played on something that was in the Vampire Diaries. I definitely. A lot of things that I play, sometimes I'll hear other placements afterwards, but Forged in Fire, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, a lot of Food Network stuff, CW, and then a little bit a while ago, Jingles.
Okay, that's great. Good for you.
A whole bunch of stuff, and now I got a brother-in-law in Hollywood, and building up relationships there, trying to get stuff placed.
Well, I have confidence that'll definitely happen for you, especially with your new solo album. So tell us a little bit about this.
Well, it's a new it's my first record. It was really a demo for Nashville. I was trying to get work here, and some people really liked it here, and I was convinced to put it out as a record under my own name. They were like, "You got a cool name, you should put it out."
It is a cool name.
Yeah, well, and I'd never done it, and I was afraid. And with a little help, I got some encouragement. And I went to my buddy, this guy John Chin at Sony, who helped me master the record. And then we put it out, and through the, magic and luck, it got reviewed by Guitar World magazine, and here I am.
That's awesome. So you definitely have to check it out on Guitar World. Just search Tim Rockmore. It's a really, really awesome, favorable review. We love Tim over here, so thank you for being here with us.
Pleasure. Also, it's available online through Apple iTunes and Apple Music and Spotify and all the other online outlets. And we're going to try to get it put if I'm lucky, on vinyl and in stores.
Well, that's awesome. You should definitely put it in Third Man, who's actually at the NAMM show today too. Have you visited them?
No, not yet, but I think I'll go check them out.
It's very awesome, very awesome. So tell us about the Noodles name. Do you like ramen noodles?
I do.
Musicians eat a lot of ramen noodles, right?
Yeah, well, Noodles became kind of like my nickname. not to put a funny spin on it, but like everybody else did here, I'm guilty of being kicked out of guitar stores. I played a lot, and anyway, they're all my friends now. Right. But I used to, go and play in Noodle, right. And so it kind of became a little nickname. And so
I was just kidding. I was kidding, but just no stairway.
Yeah, no stairway. Definitely not.
Yeah. So as far as this new album that you put out, is it primarily an instrumental guitar album?
Yeah, it's all instrumental. It's a 5-song EP, basically, I played all the instruments on it.
Cool.
It's not because that's cool. It's just I was just making a demo, and I just to save money and time, I put it out really quickly, and I played the bass on it and guitar, and I programmed the drums. But I'm coming out with a real record with real studio musicians and my band. That's coming out. We're in the studio now recording and writing. And I'm going to play a little preview song for the next album.
I was just going to ask you if you could do that for us.
Yeah.
And in terms of some of the it being a vocal record, this new one, are you going to have any guest vocalists at all, or is it just you singing? Or
I may sing on it. I'm not much of a singer, but I sing background vocals. But yeah, definitely, I've been talking with a couple of producers that I'm going to try. But yeah, I've got a really wonderful singer, Carmina Day, who hi Carmina, who is just an amazing soul singer back in New York City, and she's going to be featured on it. And there's probably going to be some guest people. There might be a surprise or two, maybe a rock star.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then as far as the Noodles album, what can you expect to hear? Obviously it's a guitar album, but is it more progressive style? Like what would you genre-wise? How would you describe it?
Yeah, for the EP, it was really just a 5-song demo. So basically, like what I tried to do was be economical. Like I made songs that were more simple, and it's nothing really fancy. It was really sketches for songs, and then I put some guitar, different tracks on it to show that I could play harmonies and things on it. But it ranges. There's soul and funk and southern rock. It's got classic rock and a tiny little bit of country in it, like flavors.
That's great for Nashville, right?
Yeah, well, that was the idea. Plus, my dad raised me on rock and country, so and Motown. So that was the idea. I wanted to do the music I love, and it was a blast. It really wasn't necessarily meant to be put out. It was really just a demo reel that was longer.
Right.
And everybody I talked to, they were like, "You got to do these 5 songs, put it out." Right. That's what I did.
Well, that's kind of the wave of the future now, doing either singles or EPs. It's a little more economical for independent artists, and you get more mileage and life out of it.
Yeah, and keeping it short. Like I had to edit. I did a lot of editing for it. Shortening choruses and things so that like it would, carry. Especially with an instrumental record, I didn't want to like be too notey and too long, I guess it's egocentric, some of it, but I tried to like show people that I could make music.
I wouldn't call it egocentric, but it's your solo album. You want to showcase yourself, so
exactly.
And then it looked like you wanted to show some of these cool pedals. Did you use these on the Noodles album?
Yes, I used I used this Supro drive pedal for some of the recording stuff, and some things I think made it on the record. I have an older version of a Tech 21 fly rig, and sometimes I do recording with that. But for the record, it was like more pure, like amp sounds and stuff. I use this guy. This is a Hello to the guys at Tech 21. This is the RK5 fly rig. I think it's a version, this is the new one, it's the version 2, and this thing is really amazingly engineered. I've been using, I play in cover bands too, and I fill in, and sometimes, not as much anymore, but if I get a fly date, like this one, it's great, and I use it a lot at small gigs. It saved the day for me. It's got a Sans amp in it, and so my actual tube amp blew, and I was able to pop this guy in. I had it on the floor as a pedal, and I popped it in the board, and these guys know, I was talking to Lloyd at Tech 21 about it, but it saved the day for me, and anyway, I'm really happy to have the new one, and I love the old one too.
And then it has a very special feature on the back here. It was signed by Richie Kotzen himself.
Yeah,
and
which is really great.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys at Tech 21, Andrew and John, engineer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is a Supro drive. This is more of like a new pedal I'm starting to use for recording and shaping. Supro guys have been really cool. Brian Bethke, basically through Brian and Dave. Brian hooked me up. They sent me out an amp and the Black Magic. I'm going to record part of the new record with it, but to try. I wanted to try out their pedals, and so I got this guy, and it really sounds like the Supro amp.
Right.
So when I plug it in, and I go through just a clean amp, it gets that sort of Jimmy Page Supro sound.
Right.
So I play. I'm going to play a little preview of the new song with it, and also I'm using the fly rig also for shred sounds and for a little bit of air and delay. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tim, for joining us today. We really, really appreciate it, and we can't wait to listen to the Noodles EP. Everybody go buy it. We totally appreciate you. Keep rocking. I know it's in the name, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you to everybody at Future and Guitar Player and Guitar World magazine, and especially John Brudner. I've been a huge fan of Guitar World and Guitar Player magazine for my whole life, and it's humbling. It's a big honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your show too.
Thanks so much.